Alexa Grasso taking on Viviane Araujo. Grasso right now minus 210, I believe, or maybe it climbed up to minus 230. And Araujo coming back at plus 190. Gordo, you are our guest here for this special episode, so I'll let you do the honors of kicking off this main event here.
What an honor to, be breaking down the best main event we'll have in the next 3 weeks compared to next week. You know what? I can't be picky because last week we didn't have any fights and I wasn't able to watch anything. So you know what? This could definitely have the potential to be better than that. So I do like this fight. I do like the fact that we have it here. And does it main event worthy? No, but it does definitely change the dynamic of how we're going to play it because now we got 5 rounds. And as much as we've seen certain things from certain people, it all changes when you hit this 5-round threshold, right? Viviane Araujo has had cardio issues in 3-round fights. How does this happen in 5-round fights? It is going to be really interesting for us to see. Looking from a broader spectrum, I do think that Grasso is probably the better fighter in a lot of areas, better boxing. I think she's got better output, better volume, better technicality. And for me, it's pretty simple. You have a moment winner versus a minute winner. Grasso is going to win all the minutes in this fight. It's going to be up to those big bombs, those big moment winnings of Araujo to even come close. And in a 3-round fight, I think that's possible. In a 5-round, I think it becomes less and less possible. I think the best way you can play this, other than a live entry on Grasso after round 1, because I do think that's a good way to play it in case you wanted to just see how that cardio of Araujo is take Grasso 4-5 decision. I think that she is most likely to go out there and impose her will, win her fight her fight. And that includes a lot of volume, a lot of output, an output that I don't think Araujo can keep up with. So the pick's going to be Grasso by finish, but due to that cardio concern, Grasso by decision, but due to that cardio concern of Araujo, I wouldn't necessarily put it past her to get a finish in rounds 4 or 5.
He's got the glasses.
Oh.
So Gordo, if you're not familiar, these glasses right here, they're called the money shades, right? And they come on when I'm very confident. And when we're all confident, Alexa Grasso dominates this fight. Ooh. Absolutely dominates start to finish. I mean, you mentioned it for the most part. Araujo has cardio issues, right? And before I get into this, I want to say real quick, as soon as I looked at this fight, I texted Dan and Kev and I said, I think the value is on Araujo here at this plus money, right? The moment I looked into the film, I was like, I'm so wrong. I was like, Grasso at minus 210 is a layup right there. I feel like everywhere this fight goes, she's better. Araujo, she may have the striking advantage, right? I mean, my bad. The finishing advantage, with power, but Grasso is a much better boxer. She's a much better striker. She's going to put herself in much better positions on the feet. The hole in Grasso's game, you could argue it's been her takedown defense, but look at who it's coming against, right? I mean, she got submitted by Tatiana Suarez, who you could argue would be the champion right now if all things went her way. And Araujo, you're coming off a big win against Andrea Lee, I believe it was, in which she got dropped in like the first 20 seconds. So you're going to go against a better striker in Grasso here, who's also, I think, far stronger when it hits the mats. I don't see Araujo being able to hold her down for more than 10 seconds at a clip. I think Grasso is able to dominate this, from start to finish for the most part. And I think a finish is pretty live. I'm happy you said 4-5 decision because I texted these boys the other day. I said, I might play little Grasso round 4. I think it was like plus 1,800. And then round 5, I think it was like plus 22 or 2,400. And I think that she could get a finish here. I think Araujo can, get hurt on the feet. I think Grasso could even bring this to the mat herself and dominate there and do some damage. So, at minus 210, I'm looking at a fighter who I think wins this fight, 80% of the time, right? I have all the value in the world there. Coming off the huge Jan plus 200 victory last time out, I'm feeling good. Women's MMA is my bread and butter. Anyone who follows this show knows I prefer women's MMA over men's because the betting edge is still there. The markets are still trying to catch up. Think about how much longer men's MMA has been going on than women's MMA, especially in the public eye with betting on the UFC. The talent, first of all, it hasn't caught up yet, and the betting markets haven't caught up yet. So that's why we're able to consistently find so many big edges in these fights. And I think here you have a huge edge in someone 7 years younger on the come up. Araujo, like we mentioned, has a pure cardio deficiency, and she's never fought a 5-rounder before. So it's almost like they're using her to prop up Grasso in this spot. I know my boy Dan's going to touch on this. Dias de Muertes, if I'm saying it correctly, right? The Day of the Dead is coming up. You got the Mexican fighter headline in this fight. man, I'm all for it. They just announced the Brandon Moreno, championship fight as well. So they got the Mexican push going on. I love Grasso here. I'm done going on about it. You saw the money shades. You know who I'm on. My boy Gordo threw on the double money shades, so we can't
love the money
better
shades
than we are right now.
Man,
I love it, man.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I really do. Something that I've noticed that just generally speaking, a lot of people haven't talked about is, Araujo, 36 years old towards the end of the year. I mean, she's really up there in age. And, for a woman who we've seen major red flags with her cardio is extraordinarily concerning. I mean, with Araujo, right? I mean, even in that Lee fight, after she, landed a bunch in that first half of the first round, I mean, she was like looking gassed in the first round, like really slowing down. And, that's just not something you want to see. And most importantly, that's not a type of fighter that you want to put your money on. I don't look at a girl in Grasso who is this bona fide woman in this division. I mentioned this earlier in the week, in this flyweight division, there really is like a top tier elite talent and nowhere else is even close to that. And that being Tyler Santos, Andrade, and Shevchenko. Fior and Chukagian will be interesting bout next week. But, with this fight particularly, man, Grasso is just such a dog, man. I mean, she in her UFC career, she has taken some absolute shots. And she's able to stand up front, and, with the lady in Araujo who does have that aggression, kind of that dog mentality of just finding that moment in the fight and trying to finish it. I just don't think at this age with her cardio, she's going to be able to keep up with the lady in Grasso, who really has her covered in the majority of the boxes here. What I do love about Grasso though is, she does train with Irene Aldana, who is I believe she's the number 4 woman in the bantamweight division. So, again, just super valuable stuff there. And, again, I don't look at Grasso as like has his bona fide IQ. I think she has made a lot of boneheaded mistakes in her career. But, with this particular matchup in a 5-round fight with a woman who's going to pour it on from bell to bell, I do like a late finish here. 18-1, 22-1 in those 4th and 5th rounds. And Araujo is going to be gassed in those rounds. Like it doesn't take a blind man to see that. So, look, I respect the conviction there, Matt, on Grasso, and let's cash in this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to add, right? I think, I'm also on Grasso. I think she's going to have she has very crisp boxing, and it's going to be a classic case of, her straight punches and her volume versus the power and power punches and takedowns of her opponent. I think Grasso has shown some improvements in her submission defense, and you got to think that she knows that that's where she's at risk, right? She on the feet, I truly give her a big advantage here, and I think the volume that she'll be able to put out, provided that she can avoid the occasional bomb. I can totally see this being a late finish. I can also totally see this going to decision. So I like that 4-5 decision prop. What book did you get that on, by the way?
It's DraftKings.
Yep. Or FanDuel.
Yeah, me in Quebec, we unfortunately don't have access to that, but one of these days, I like that. I think for me, it's probably just a straight bet on Grasso at this point. I don't really like any prop, but I'll probably go fairly heavy on it. There's this fight and one other fight on the undercard that for me I think are going to be my heaviest spot here. I think we all know who that is, and I'll probably have a couple units on Grasso. If not 3 or 4. I really just see her winning here. I think you mentioned that Diaz de los Muertos. The UFC is putting her in the main event for a reason. They like her. They want to pump her for the Mexican fan base. Again, got multiple Latin fighters here. You got Martinez in the co-main. I can totally see a Martinez Grasso, kind of favorite victory here. I think next week is probably going to be a little heavier card for me, but yeah, a couple of spots here that are fairly chalky, but spots that I like, and Grasso is one of them for sure.